What if you looked in the mirror and saw someone else? Someone from another time, another life, another race, another gender. No warning, no control, just a single mission. Fix what went wrong, and pray you survive long enough to leap again. For 5 unforgettable seasons, this was the life of Dr. Sam Beckett, the time-traveling physicist at the heart of Quantum Leap. One of the boldest, strangest, and most quietly revolutionary shows ever put on network TV. There were no starships, no aliens, just one man, trapped in history, and trying to make it better. It was unlike anything else on TV, a sci-fi underdog that reinvented itself every week with new eras, new identities, and one constant, Sam and Al. Their chemistry wasn't just good casting, it was the emotional core of the show. Al, with his glitchy hand link to the supercomputer Ziggy, delivered mission intel, wisecracks, and sometimes brutal truth.
Oh, yes, you are, Sam, yeah. Ziggy says that...
Together, they formed one of TV's strangest, funniest, and most heartfelt partnerships. To understand Quantum Leap, you have to understand the mind behind it, Donald P. Bellisario. By the late 80s, he was already a hit maker. Magna P.I., Airwolf, Tales of the Gold Monkey, all his. But his next idea wasn't about action heroes or explosions. It was about regret. About asking one haunting question. What if you could go back and make things right? Not save the galaxy, not stop a war, just fix one mistake, help one person. That was the seed of Quantum Leap, and it grew fast. According to Bellisario, the full concept hit him in a sudden burst, and the pilot script poured out in one marathon writing session. The premise was simple and radical.
He awoke to find himself trapped in the past, facing mirror images that were not his own, and driven by an unknown force to change history for the better. His only guide on this journey is Al, an observer from his own time.
Dr. Sam Beckett, physicist and quantum theorist, steps into his own time travel experiment and vanishes. Instead of leaping to when and where he wants, Sam finds himself inside other people's lives from all across American history. And he's there for one reason, to fix something that went wrong before he leaps again.
Lisa wants to know if you're taking anyone to the Gobbler Hop after the game.
Oh, boy.
Here's what made Quantum Leap so different from other time travel shows. Sam didn't just go back in time, he became the people he leaped into. To everyone else, he looked and sounded like them, but to Sam, and to us, he was still himself, trapped in someone else's life with no idea when or where he'd land next. His only link to the future? Al Calavicci, a cigar-chomping, sharp-dressed hologram visible only to Sam. Al carried a glitchy handheld device that connected to Ziggy, a hybrid supercomputer that could analyze timelines and suggest what Sam needed to fix.
Well, Ziggy, you're looking very user-friendly.
I see that Simo leaping with Admiral Calavicci has had a positive effect on you. You're in for some pleasant surprises, Dr. Elise.
But Al wasn't just comic relief. He was Sam's confidant, conscious, and emotional anchor, the one constant in a world that changed every week. Casting Sam Beckett was nearly impossible. You needed someone who could be a different person every week, different jobs, different eras, sometimes even different genders or races, and still feel like the same guy underneath. He had to be smart, grounded, empathetic, and instantly likable. Bellisario found all of that in Scott Bakula. He wasn't a major star at the time, mostly theater with a few TV roles, but his audition hit something deeper. He was Sam. Kind, curious, overwhelmed, but trying. Whether he was leaping into a mobster, a pregnant woman, or a black chauffeur in the segregated South, Bakula brought heart to every role. He wasn't a superhero, he was a good man doing his best, and that's what made him unforgettable. And then there was Al. To balance Sam's quiet empathy, Bellisario needed someone bold, unpredictable, street smart, and full of personality. He found all that in Dean Stockwell.
This isn't a shopping list, you know.
The odds drop into the low teens after that.
Once Stockwell stepped into Al's wardrobe, wild suits, loud shirts, cigars, and all, the character came to life. The chemistry between him and Bakula was instant. Sam was heart, Al was attitude, and together they gave Quantum Leap its soul. Whether they were trading jokes or sharing raw moments of grief, their bond grounded the show in something deeper, a friendship that felt real, even when everything else changed every week.
How come you remember that?
Yes or no?
I don't know. I don't
And
know.
were there a
Maybe.
significant number of sightings in the northern U.S.?
Sam, will you stop?
Al, do you think that I'm crazy?
Sam and Al were the emotional center of Quantum Leap, but the show's real power came from what it dared to do. It was late 80s, early 90s network TV, and yet, every week, Quantum Leap explored issues most shows avoided: prejudice, injustice, and the struggles that everyday people caught in difficult moments of history. Sam wasn't just fixing events, he was stepping into lives that challenged his understanding of the past. He leaped into a black man in the Jim Crow South, a woman fighting for respect in the workplace, a soldier facing the scars of war. And every time he did, he saw the world through someone else's eyes.
Alcohol. A 5% solution of ethanol alcohol in dextrose and water, intravenously administered, will stop labor.
Behind the scenes, Quantum Leap was a weekly miracle. Every episode meant a new era, new costumes, new sets, and a completely different supporting cast. One week it was the 1950s, the next the 1970s, then back to the Civil War. Most shows build a world once. Quantum Leap built a new one every single week. Bellisario's team had to research, design, and shoot these mini movies on a tight TV schedule, and Scott Bakula had to carry them all. He wasn't just acting, he was learning accents, changing physicality, sometimes playing comedy, sometimes deep drama, and often doing both in the same episode.
Well, I just figured that everybody knew him, and or maybe not.
It was exhausting, but it worked. And that relentless ambition is a big part of why the show still holds up today. For all its creativity and critical praise, Quantum Leap was never a ratings juggernaut. Its first season tied for 58th place in the Nielsen rankings, and things never got much better. At its peak, it climbed to 51st. By season 4, it had dropped into the 90s, and in its final season, it didn't even crack the top 100. But what it lacked in numbers, it made up for in loyalty. The fans who loved Quantum Leap didn't just watch it, they believed it. The network knew it had something special, even if the ratings never proved it on paper. And for a few years, that was enough to keep the leaps going. As the show went on, its biggest enemy wasn't ratings, it was scheduling. NBC bounced Quantum Leap all over the lineup. Time slots shifted, lead-ins changed. While Wednesdays at 10 p.m. became its most common slot, it was shifted so often, sometimes head-to-head against powerhouse dramas or sitcoms on other networks, that viewers couldn't keep up, and numbers slipped. A lot of households had VCRs by the early 90s, but unlike today's DVRs, you had to manually program the exact day, channel, and time. Every time NBC moved a show, it broke people's recordings. Missed a few episodes, and many viewers just gave up. By season 5, the writing was on the wall. High production costs, declining ratings, and a network that no longer knew what to do with it. NBC pulled the plug, abruptly. The cast and crew were caught off guard. There was no warning, no build-up, and suddenly, a show about unfinished business didn't get to finish its own. And then came the finale. With the show suddenly canceled, the writers had to craft a last-minute ending, one that could work just in case they got a TV movie, but also close the book if they didn't. The result was Mirror Image, a strange, quiet, philosophical send-off written by Bellisario himself. Instead of Sam leaping home, we got ambiguity. Fate, self-sacrifice. A man choosing to keep helping others, even if it meant never going home.
I always wanted my own bar.
Yeah, well, this is more than a bar, Al. This is where it all started.
What started?
Quantum Leap.
Some fans found it beautiful. Others felt betrayed. But everyone remembers the final moment, the black screen, the final message. Dr. Sam Beckett never returned home. For a show about second chances, Quantum Leap didn't get one. In the end, Quantum Leap was never about flashy effects or high ratings. It was about something simpler and deeper. One man, one moment, one small act that could change a life. It blended sci-fi with soul, and gave us a hero who wasn't trying to save the world, just trying to make it a little better, one leap at a time. Quantum Leap inspired a generation of storytellers, earned its place in TV history, and even got a second life through a modern reboot. But the heart of it all will always be Sam Beckett, leaping into the unknown, doing what's right, and reminding us that hope doesn't need a time machine, it just needs a willing heart.